Cari amici sportivi, welcome to Milan Weekly Podcast. Guys, we're September 13th. Stevie P here. Guys, you're going to notice that we're missing one of the dynamic duo. He's on vacation. He got primed up. He's flying first class. He's in a location which I cannot specify to anybody. It's top secret. You know, when Vinny travels, he likes to be under the radar. He's kind of like our modern day James Bond. But we would not be able to do a Milan Weekly podcast. You guys don't want to look at my ugly face for an hour. So, of course, I brought in, guys, someone that I'm embarrassed to say has not been on the show very often. And he's a Milaniste at heart. He's become not only a fellow admin, but a friend. I really appreciate his point of view and the way he looks at things. Great conversation. He's been on other podcasts as well. He is the one and only fellow admin. We're going to welcome Jan.
Buonasera a tutti. Thank you, Steve, for having me.
Yeah, again, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
I feel like I'm the Mr. X. I'm replacing like the mystery man. I'm the mystery man replacing Vinny tonight. You know, everyone was wondering, is it Tommy who's coming on? So glad to be here. Can't wait to talk Calcio and talk Milan.
Exactly, and that's why we brought Jan on. Not only is he a Milaniste, he also looks good in the red and black. He has his little set behind him. We're going to talk a little bit about the gold jersey. We're going to talk a little bit about the black one and the white one that he has behind him. But guys, let's go. Are you ready, Jan?
I am ready, just like Milan was against Lazio. Let's go.
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
You are listening to the Milan Weekly Podcast, the English voice of Radio Rossonera and Milan fans all over the world.
Rafael Leao produces a moment of utter magic.
Kessie, e dai gol!
Theo Hernandez al gol! Theo Hernandez, ancora lui, una meraviglia! Ibrahimovic! Zlatan Ibrahimovic, fuori classe assoluto!
Fuori classe assoluto. Kessie no over the weekend. Jan, guys, welcome to another Milan Weekly Podcast, guys, the English voice of Radio Rossonera, where we talk everything Milan, Champions League, first place Milan, guys, and dominant performances over the weekend. But before we start, Jan, for those of the people watching and listening later on, once we put this podcast live for everybody to listen in their car, while they're running, at the gym, while they're eating, like myself, tell them a little bit about yourself, Jan.
So as Steve said earlier, I'm one of the admins on the Montreal Milan Club, and it's a great honor as always. It's always fun working with you guys for a great cause, for our love of Milan. Besides that, I like to make music. I like to say annoying things on Twitter sometimes and get some people not to like me. And that's it. Really happy to be here. Honestly, I was worried Milan was gonna shit the bed and we were gonna have a really bad podcast. But when they play well like that, it's just easy to talk. No, it's like it's the easiest thing when you see them play so well. I think it's been our best performance under Pioli since early when we started that win streak. It was really amazing to see them play that well.
Yeah, and it's true, and like you said, myself, I am someone who likes to stir the pot a little bit when it comes to my opinions. You know that. Everybody knows that. I'm not scared. I will be opinionated. I will continue to talk, but in the end, it's about having a conversation and having the ability to talk calcio with other people, even though you're not at the bar, you're a continent away, have a discussion. It's amazing, right? So it wouldn't be a Milan Weekly podcast if we wouldn't have direction from Il Presidente, guys. So I know he sent me a laundry list because he has absolutely no trust in me, because this usually goes to Vinny. So he says, please make sure, Steve, that you read it exactly the way I write it for you. Okay. So the housekeeping, guys, we're going to get some things out of the way. First of all, guys, I would like to just thank all the subscribers, all the Patreons who subscribe and continue to donate to us, guys. It's greatly appreciated. I would love to name you all, but it would take too long, so we're going to get to it. Guys, please share the podcast, share the content that myself, Vinny, Marcello, Sonny the designer, and now we're adding Jan to the family, put out for you guys. We do this with all our heart. We love doing it, and for me, it's basically time away from my kids who keep on screaming at me. So you're doing me a favor. Smash that subscribe button, like, tweet, reshare, whatever you need. Tell your friend. If you go to the bar, tell your friend. And I have a quick one for that. I want to give a shout out to Vinny's cousin, Johnny. Johnny is working at the elections, and I saw him today. I went and do my civil duty.
Nice.
And it was nice to see Johnny there. What was amazing is Johnny was not only directing you where to vote, but if he saw you with something of Milan, forced you to join Milan Club Montreal as well. So shout out to Johnny, who's using his electoral power to not only make you do your civil duty, but also do your duty to this fabulous club that we call Milan here in Montreal. Join Milan Club Montreal, guys. That's one of the things that was on the Presidente's list. The membership drive to sign up before the Juve game gets you a chance to win a 3-month subscription of Fubo TV. Guys, Chocharo is going to be showing the Champions League game on Wednesday. The viewing party for the Juventus game, guys, is welcome to new members, old members. Please come and watch the game with us. We will scream, we will yell. Hopefully, we will run out of there with another 3 points. The most important thing today, guys, and it's a big thing for Milan Club Montreal, and it's a big thing for Milan Weekly Podcast. But in theory, this is a big thing for Marcello, our president. If you do follow Marcello on Twitter, we'll put his handle out there later for you guys. Marcello had the great opportunity to be on Inferno del Lunedì. So that's Monday Inferno. It's a Milan TV production with Mauro Suma. So this is not just, Milan going and find someone who, was able to put out a lot of content, was able to, generate a lot of listeners' views. This is someone, Marcello, that I'm not just saying this because I want to throw flowers at him, but Jan knows as well. Someone who does a lot of work behind the scenes. And it's stuff that, myself, Vinny, and all the admins, we benefit with the club. Myself and Vinny, we take it to an extra level with Sonny because we benefited from all the work that he does for Milan Weekly Podcast. But if you have a chance and you have Milan TV and you can rewatch that, it's nice that Milan recognized all his hard work by putting him on this show that gets shown throughout Italy. And, Milan TV is something that a lot of Milan fans do go to. Here in North America, we have our own little way of watching it. But in Europe, they have that. If you're a Milan fan, you have Milan TV. So I want to say thank you to Milan TV, thank you to Milan, thank you to Presidente, and congratulations, because that was something really nice. And I know he was nervous. I heard it in his voice.
Oh man, he was nervous.
I heard it in his voice, Jan.
But he always says it. That's not his role. And honestly, it's just a testament to how hard he does work for all the members, for all of us, and for his love of Milan.
And it's not.
It's great that he was on. He was invited, but he was his first date, like going to the prom or something.
Yeah. It was something else. It was nice to watch. And what's good about Marcello is not only is he doing this for Milan Club Montreal, he helps other clubs as well where he can. He helps other clubs get set up, as all the other presidents do. I see David, the Fanta family. They're not on vacation, which is a miracle, and they're watching me live tonight. Shocked, but that's fantastic. Great to have David here, and there was a great Photoshop done of David on a bus, driving a yellow school bus. So the bus has started for David and the Fanta family, the first lady. You're the best, guys. The last point for Milan's for our Milan Weekly podcast housekeeping is Fondazione Milan with the new fundraising project with Puma. So that's something that's interesting. Our let's say kit brand partner and Fondazione Milan getting together. I have the tweet here. It's from Milan to the world. So this is going to be cool. We'll retweet this after. The housekeeping is over, Jan. If you want to add anything, please go ahead.
I hope Marcello was happy with that, because now there's no more script. So
it's over.
It's over now.
Guys, let's get to it, guys. Jan is here. He wants to talk. Milan Lazio, guys. So let's set this up for you guys. Milan Lazio. We're back at the San Siro. It's a big game. We talked about it last week with Vinny. Guys, it was a measuring stick for me on where we were, because I didn't think Samp was a very tough opponent. Cagliari didn't look like they really wanted to play. So this Lazio game was a big measuring stick for Milan because of the next games that we have coming down the line, which we'll talk about later. So we'll get rid of our ugly faces, and I'll explain while we show you the graphic. It's Milan's starting lineup for Milan Lazio. So if we run through the starting lineup, Jan, we have Rebic up top, Leao, Diaz, Florenzi, Kessie, Tonali, Theo, Romagnoli, Tomori, Calabria, Mike Mangione, and Nets. From this starting lineup, Jan, once you saw it and it became official, were there any surprises?
I wasn't surprised Florenzi was playing there. I was just not happy with the decision. But I understand that Salad Maker was tossing salads with Belgium for 2 weeks. He was on fire over there. So we had to give our little Belgian boy a little break. Honestly, first half, I don't think Florenzi was that bad, but we'll get to that later. I was just more shocked by that. I also like to see Romagnoli there. We all know he's a big Laziale. I have no problems when players say that they're a fan of another team. I find that a lot more honest than when they kiss the badge and they hike. But Romagnoli, I knew he was going to have a big performance because he's playing against his favorite team. So for sure, I was happy to see Romagnoli in there. And happy to see Calabria not get injured on the international break and come back and still be able to play. So that was good too.
Yeah, so that's a really important point. We got out of the international break this time around. What I think did Krunic get hurt this international break, or was he already injured the last time they played a friendly? Anyways, I can't remember, but it seems like we got out scot-free from this international break. Everybody hates it. I get it. I'm not a big fan of it too. I think they play way too much soccer, but it has to be done. It's for World Cup qualifying. I get it. What interests me and what I found, and this is before this game happened, I started paying attention a little bit more to the U21 because I was interested to see what Tonali was doing with the U21 and captaining the U21 team. And I think it's a great move by Mancini to either not select him, or maybe he's not ready for the big time team, and let it and still go and still play these qualifiers for the U21, captaining the team, giving him more responsibility. And I saw a little bit of the Luxembourg game where I think he was great, and he showed his dominance. But this was Luxembourg, and no disrespect to Luxembourg. I don't know if you had a chance to see that, Jan, the U21 game.
Is that the game that he got 3 assists?
Yeah, so that was the game with 3 assists, and you saw the quality of Italy's U21 compared to Luxembourg. It was hard to measure, right? So, but
Yeah.
It was good because I found he played a good game against Cagliari. It wasn't a perfect game, but it was a good game. I don't know if you agree with me. The Cagliari game was much better than the Samp game.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. That's where I got all the critiques. That's why all of
Yeah.
Milan Twitter hates me, because I said the Samp game wasn't good. I never said he wasn't good. I said the Samp game wasn't good.
Yeah, I understand your point of view. Is like you expect something from him because of how he's been portrayed by fans, the club, and journalists. I see each game as a stepping stone. I didn't think he was bad. I think Sampdoria, he was average to good, and now he was exceptional this game. Like he's going in the right direction. But I understand your point of view. I just you expect a bit more. It's fine.
Yeah, no, and that was exactly where I was going with this, because Cagliari was good against Lazio. Tonali was the man of the match.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm not saying this to go back on my words. This is what we saw. This is what you saw, because what I saw him do against Lazio, he basically demoralized Luis Alberto.
Yeah.
Luis Alberto, during that game, I have never seen him in all the time that he's played in Serie A with Lazio. Not only, I'm not going to say he dominated him, he just frustrated him to the point where Luis Alberto, for long periods of time, had no answer, no reply, and honestly looked very, very disinterested near the end, which was shocking to me.
He was neutralized because there was moments that Luis Alberto, SMS, and Pedro were getting a little things going, but they would maybe sustain passing for 5-6 passes in a row, and then the play would be dead. It was they neutralized. They frustrated them, because I was impressed a lot by Pedro, actually. Like he baited some of our guys. He was playing with his IQ. But SMS and Luis Alberto, those guys are just talented players. You're never going to neutralize them completely. You have to systematically limit them in certain areas. And I think Tonali and Kessie and Florenzi helping them too, I think they did a good job as a team limiting these guys to use their fantasia, because they're very good. They're very good midfielders also.
Yeah. Another surprise for me, and I'm going to give him credit. I don't do this very often. I think Leao was good against Lazio. I still think he had a lot of garbage in the game. There was Tonali's assist coming from the right, going to the left, where he picked out Leao perfectly, and he was a little bit average with the header.
Yeah,
there was some times where he was trying to do a bit too much, and I read something really interesting on Leao where it's Pioli that actually told him, "Look, you're fantastic one-on-one. I want you to exploit that." My personal opinion on Leao is that when he keeps it simple, like the counter-attack, which was fantastic, he's more effective. As soon as he tries to go into his bag of tricks, great for compilations, Jan, but terrible for the end product. What do you think about that?
Leao, for me, first thing I've noticed this year, he's growing into his body. He's no longer a child. He's becoming a man. So I think a lot of the errors that I saw, I don't think he's fully used to this bigger size that he is. A lot of times he was going into balls, booting them too hard, too far out. What you said, the one-on-ones, I saw him doing that. A lot of, I think it was on Luis Felipe, or what was on that right side in the back of the three-man defense. But he would just, a little head bob, and then boom with his speed, and he would burn him. Then the problem comes in, he doesn't make that pass properly, or his IQ is not getting there. He's still, I think he has a lot of potential. We're starting to see that this year, but it's up to him to maintain a focus. He has to really feed off of Giroud and Ibra, start learning, like, how many years are you going to be learning? But I do see a step in the right direction, because the way he ended last year, I wasn't too impressed with him. He started off great again. Maybe he's like the inverse Rebic. You know how Rebic starts off terrible, has a great end? Leao usually starts off great, has a terrible end. So I just hope he stays more consistent. But I agree with you. There's still definitely more there. I think he's showing that he has a lot more to give.
Exactly. The ceiling of Leao is high, guys, and that's the frustrating part. And that's what people misinterpret. I'm going to speak for myself when I talk about Leao. Again, it's the same thing like Tonali. It's not like I don't want them to succeed or I feed off them not succeeding. Guys, Milan invested big money in Leao for Milan's pocket and Milan's account. Milan offered, they paid some pretty nice change for that, right? So, the body language is better too. Against Lazio, the body language was better too. Once I saw the change, if we go back to the lineup, I saw the change. Leao coming off, IBRA coming on. We had Kessie coming off. Before Kessie coming off, we did have Kessie take a penalty shot, right? So I want to talk about that, Jan. What was your take on Kessie's game coming back to Milan after international duty with all this hoopla? Is he staying? Is he leaving? Let's get your take on Kessie.
So I listened back again to the game to hear when they announced them, because I wasn't paying attention when the game was going on, and you heard a little bit of whistles, and I think it played into the way he started the game. I don't know if you noticed, a bit nervous, sometimes overcommit on a ball or not make the perfect pass. He settled into the game. I respect the fact that he went to take that penalty after everything, so that shows to me like he wants to show that I'm your man. He did Reina went the wrong side. He chose the right side. He hit the crossbar. I mean, it's like that. I appreciate the fact that he went to do it. Did he have his best game? No. Was he made better because guys around him bailed him out? But that's a team. And I think he has to – I'm worried that if this doesn't get settled and this continues and the fans are very vocal and in the streets they're vocal, what happens as the season goes on? Is he going to start creating – because he didn't make many mistakes, but I did notice it wasn't the regular Frank. There was moments where he rushed a bit more, where in the past he was sometimes – remember the last game against Atalanta? He'd have two guys on his back as if smoking a cigarette, playing soccer, like nothing. He didn't have that same sense of calmness. So I think it's affecting him, and that's not a good sign. I'm under the school that we should have sold him the last week of the Mercato. Love the guy, but you don't sign – this business, man. Not that we're going to be a better team by selling him, but we can't start having guys walk away for free. So that's my fear with him.
No, we can't. It's really bad for business, and no. I think Frank had a good game in terms of what he did. Sometimes Frank Kessie is strange because he's going to have a fantastic game, but he's not going to show up on the stat sheet, right? So if he doesn't miss that penalty shot, basically his game was, let me help out Tonali, which he did.
Yeah.
Let me neutralize SMS. And I hope Jerry listens to this, okay? So Jerry, my one message to Jerry, I know Jerry was all United Nations over this whole thing there. He didn't want to say anything bad. But I knew deep down inside, because me and Jerry are kind of like brothers from another mother. He has that rage in him too, and I know he was raging. So there's probably a TV that broke in Jerry's home.
Laptops. He goes through laptops.
Laptops too. The next article that he's going to write is probably not going to be about the Milan, but SMS was nowhere to be found because of Frank Kessie, and this is not the first time that he does it to him.
Yeah.
What's your take on SMS and why he can't get over this hump that's called Frank Kessie?
Well, is there another midfielder in Serie A like Frank Kessie? I don't think they're at that quality that can actually have somewhat of a dribble with the foot. They can vision, they can make a pass, they do everything kind of well. Frank is probably like toe for toe a guy that can go up with SMS. SMS is a big boy. He's dominant. And now I also want to say, was it so much that Frank neutralized them, or that SMS didn't have a good game either? I didn't notice him until I think the 30th minute at some points. I think he was. The main reason I think he has a hard time with Frank is that Frank can match him physically. and Frank is a tank. And I think that's where SMS has a difficulty, because in Serie A, I'm looking around the other big teams who has tanks like Frank that can go up against SMS, and that's why he wreaks havoc against other teams that don't have those types of midfielders to go against them.
Exactly, and I hate this. This whole on the bird and all over social media, people comparing Barella and Frank Kessie. Guys, they're two different players. Admire Barella for what Barella could do. Admire Frank Kessie for what Frank Kessie could do. And, against Lazio, not only was it Frank Kessie dominating SMS, I think it's Milan's dominance of Lazio as a whole.
Yeah.
Because I asked myself after I watched that game and watched it again, just to watch a little bit of off the ball stuff and see what was going on. The body language of Lazio was terrible. I don't think Sarri had any answers for that. Immobile was completely Casper the Ghost again.
He was getting molested by Tomori and Romagnoli no matter where he went. And then if those guys weren't there, you had Frank Kessie up on him.
The pressing scheme that Pioli put together, was something like it was a wave. It was Rebic, Leao. And then if you got by Rebic, Leao, then it was Tonali and Kessie, and it was constant. It was like not, Sarri's teams love to play out of the back, and Milan was making it so hard for them to play at the back.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked myself, was it Milan that dominant, or was it Lazio that bad?
I think they're still getting used to Sarri's system. I mean, it's all fine and dandy. They scored 14 goals in 2 games against who do they play? Spezia and some other scrap. It's a tough system. And the other thing is, their sporting director, what did he do to help Sarri play out of the back? You have a Cherby there with a bunch of MLS caliber defenders around him. You have one idiot, Luis Felipe, does a slide tackle, takes out a guy's ankle, and he's celebrating like he scored a goal. These are not the back end that you want to be playing Sarri ball with. Sorry, it's a bit of a failure as an organization all over, and I feel bad for Laziale because their team usually does good in the Mercato. I don't think they didn't supply Sarri. I feel like Sarri's kind of getting the same treatment he got at Juve. They didn't get the players he needed to really play. I think Pedro helps, but Pedro's old.
Didn't get the players that he needs to play his system, right? So
twice in a row.
Felipe Anderson coming back, that's a minestra riscaldata.
Yeah.
Pedro, crazy move from Roma to Lazio. I don't know why he would do something like that, but he was
actually a good relationship with Sarri, right?
Yeah, and he was also one of their best players, right? So if anybody showed a little bit of grinta, it was Pedro, even going up to Theo Hernandez. We're gonna get to
when he came on too.
Zaccagni was a nice pickup. I don't know why he didn't start there. From the guys who got subbed in, were you surprised Benacer didn't start this game?
I was not, just because Tonali had been so good, and Kessie. I think you're gonna play Benacer against Liverpool, and Kessie probably gets this game, and then it's Tonali Benacer, or I would be surprised if it's Kessie Benacer against Liverpool, honestly. But I think they're resting Benacer for Liverpool. He's gonna have his hands full over there.
Yeah. The other change we saw, Salchicha Maker gets a minute.
I love
whatever. Him. He's again, gotta love the work ethic. Gotta love him starting a little scrap at the end, showing a little bit of grinta, And I'm gonna talk about Theo. I'm gonna talk about Zlatan. I get it. I get that if you're an opposing team, you hate it because it's kind of looks like we're being a little bit arrogant. But as a Milan fan who's been suffering for the past 10 years, guys, 10 long fucking years, man, do I like when they show a little bit of balls. Theo, get off me, Pedro. Get off me. That's a bit too much. Yeah. Get off me. And Zlatan at the end, it's enough, guys. The game's over. I'm not gonna take this. I am Zlatan, and fuck you. This is my kingdom. You came to play at Milan. We dominated. Go home.
Yeah.
Do you like this grinta Milan? Do you like this attitude style Milan?
I love it. I love seeing that. I mean, Theo, in that circumstance, that was Pedro baiting him. Pedro, because he knows Theo's a hothead. But do I like seeing it? Of course. If he was on a yellow and he got another one, no. He's got to be careful. You can't do that in Champions League. This is what these guys have to remember. You go to Champions League, you do this, you're going to end up looking like those idiots in Juventus in a final when they're yelling at a semi-final, when they're yelling at a guy for a clear penalty. Yeah. They ref differently over there in Europe. And what Pedro did to Theo, as much as I love seeing Theo stand up for himself, you do that in Champions League on Wednesday, you're getting booked. So, you're not supposed to, but I love seeing it. Like, that's me as a fan. If I was the manager, I'd probably have a talk with him afterwards to tell him to, we have a lead, no need to give in to anything, But I love seeing it as a fan. I think it's great. It's been missing for a while from our team. Yep. And Theo's another one of those guys that wants to play here. He took a pay cut. He stayed here. PSG was knocking doors. He didn't force a move. So that's the guys I want to see it from.
Yeah, Manchester City too, also making some statements that they're looking for a left back. Surprise, surprise, they want Theo Hernandez. Mm-hmm. We're gonna get to Bakayoko soon, but Zlatan comes in. Takes the place of Leao. I was a little bit disappointed that he took out Leao. I thought that he was having a good game and would have liked to see him finish it off, but I get the change. Rebic takes Leao's place. Ibra goes up top where he belongs. Ibra tap in, and silent but deadly, awkward as all. The partnership of Rebic and Leao is, I saw it on Twitter, so I'm gonna take someone's quote now. It is really the most awkward thing that I have seen in all of Serie A.
Yeah, they're both wingers, no?
They're both wingers, but it's just like. It's it's like they were in each other's feet. Sometimes they look like they didn't know where they wanted to be on the field, but it ended up working out. It ended up working out on that counterattack. Then when Leao comes out, Rebic goes back to his wing position and serves Zlatan a nice welcome back, big man, after who knows how many months out with a knee injury. Nice to see him back. What did you think about Zlatan's performance?
Well, I mean, just on the goal, I don't know if you saw in the replay, he was tying his shoes. And he sees the play starting, and that's when you differentiate the legends in the game to just the very good players in the game. And you just to see that, and he just starts his jog, and kudos to Rebic. It was a beautiful pass.
Yeah.
But if you look, the guy's tying his shoe. He's not, I'm not going to stop my shoe anymore. And whoop, got down the pitch, and he put in a tap in. I mean, what more could you say about Zlatan? Even with an Asterix and Obelix haircut that he had going on there with those braids,
you're
still scared of him. You're still scared of him.
That was a new style that I don't think is going to stick around for the next game at Champions League. He's going to go back to the ponytail.
So. Yeah.
I kept Bakayoko to the end because let's go back here. Guys.
Just rooting for the guy. I was rooting for him.
I'm not. I was never. I was very critical of Bakayoko when he came to Milan because he basically everything was on the field, guys. Nothing was working out for him. Yeah. I found that he came into his own. He really helped out Milan, and then he had to leave. Now he comes back. He gets into this game, gets a yellow card, gets injured, guys. But not only that. And I left Bakayoko till the end because it's my indigestion of the week. Guys, we're in the year 2021, and we talk about it millions and millions of times, and I'm almost sick of talking about it. Racist chants from the Laziali again. I don't want to give it too much time there, Jan, but we have to address it. There's no space. If we keep on talking that Serie A cannot buy anybody. Every Mercato we complain like babies on Twitter, Instagram. We complain all over that, oh my God, our teams can't buy anybody. Milan can't buy anybody. Look what happens. Guys. Am I saying that this doesn't happen in other leagues? Guys, it does, yes, it does. But in Serie A, it's like enough is enough, guys. Enough is enough. Like, they need to do something. They need. Unfortunately, someone's gonna need to get docked points. They have to find another punishment to deal with these type of fans. It's unfortunate that you cannot you cannot scan for someone and tell if he's racist. You cannot test for that. You understand? Like, there's no swab that you can do. There's no you cannot judge someone and say, hey, that guy's racist, that guy's not racist.
Exactly.
Right? So I get that. But like, as a culture, as an Italian culture, and yourself, yeah, and you come from an Italian background and heritage like myself, we need to leave that in the past, because it's damaging to the game. It's damaging to Italy itself as a country, guys. No one's going to want to come and play here anymore. There's going to be a time that no one's going to really want to come and play here, and not because of the product on the field, but it's for the extra slack that they get. And Jamie brought up, says it perfectly. It just brings shame.
It does. And I have friends that are Laziali, and they don't feel that, they don't think that way. And, it's an embarrassment for them to have to hear, you're all Nazis, you're all fascists, and we're kind of, quote unquote, lucky right now that there's no factions of the Milan ultras that are doing anything like this. But look at our cousins across the pond, across the street, Inter. They have, not all Interistas are racist, but you have the loud ones. And you're absolutely right. What has to be done now? Why? What is Lotito going to do? Like, how is he going to manage to not sell tickets to the idiots? Or even if you don't sell them to the idiots, that they then resell them to the idiots. So it's a cultural thing that I think, unfortunately, you have to close. They can't travel anymore. Things that are extreme like that. But then, is it ever going to make anything go away?
I don't know. Yeah, I have no answer to this.
The conversation has to change around it. The way they advertise about it, the way they talk about it, that's the only way it's going to change. But it's a long time coming. Look, in the States, getting rid of slavery, they thought that was going to change. No, giving them more rights was going to change. No, there's still a lot of racism. It's all over, but it's a society thing. So unfortunately, FIGC and SERIEA is just caught up in a society that doesn't want to change in Italy, and that's where we're at right now. And it's sad, because then you have guys that come and take a pay cut, leave Chelsea, leave London, leave that, come here, comes on the field, and he knows, okay, it could be related to the Acerbi incident when he was here 2 years ago, but still, you have to really call him a clown, make an idiot say that he sucked on the field, but you have to make it about his skin color. That's what I don't get.
I don't get it. I don't want to give more. I don't want to give more time to that. I don't want to give more time to that. I just thought that it had to be the indigestion of the week. There was nothing else that could overtake that, because it's not right. So I want to give out again a shout out to our friends at Milan Post. These guys, they keep on cutting out. Someone keeps on giving them clips of me screaming and starting some kind of controversial topic, and they have fantastic followers. They get great articles. They translate. They post their own stuff. So thank you, Milan Post, for continuing to give Milan Weekly Podcast that extra push. Milan Post, besides all their other articles, my favorite portion and my favorite post that I look for, because I love seeing the reaction after I comment, is Milan Post's top man of the match or flop worst player of the match. Jan, for you, who's your top and who's your flop?
My top is going to be Sandro Tonali. And my flop, I'm not even going to give it to Bakayoko, because he's sottovalutato for me. He didn't even really play. So my flop for this game, it's going to have to be Mr. Florenzi. For me, it was just, don't find he brought much on that side, and I felt we had more chances, more creativity when he came off the field. I just don't think that's his position. So nothing against him. I just had to give a flop to somebody. Honestly, it was really hard to find a flop in this game.
Yeah, so we're on the same page there. My top is Sandro Tonali. Again, I tweeted it out. Best game that he's played in a Milan shirt. Of course, I got all the people telling me, oh, now you like him. As if I never really as if I hated him, this guy. I know. Just, I don't know what they expect from me. If I was this wizard who would tell you, oh, you know what? Wait till game 3, and against Lazio, Tonali is gonna have the game of his life. Exactly. You think I would be sitting in my basement doing Milan Weekly Podcast? No, I would be somewhere in Vegas pushing out bets for people. You understand?
Yes.
So it's only what you have as an opinion. So congratulations to Tonali, the man of the match. Look, flop of the match was really hard. I gave it to Florenzi as well because I just think he didn't give enough. There was not enough on that side, on that right hand side, and it's again a problem. We talked about it at the Mercato. If Florenzi's our answer for that right hand side, Champions League and the rest of the season is going to be very long because we don't have enough on that right hand side. So that's
Unpopular opinion. I think Alexi's gonna be a surprise this year for us. I have a feeling he's gonna surprise. I think Salsicha Maker is gonna surprise. He's gonna have one good Champions League game and then we're gonna lose him. But it's gonna be. I think he's gonna surprise on the right side.
Speaking of Champions League, Jan.
Yes.
We're gonna thank Sonny the designer because he went all out on this one. Sonny does all our designs. You know, he does for Milan Weekly Podcast. He does for Milan Club Montreal. Sonny pops out with this slide for us. Boom!
Look at that. You have once champions of Europe. On the other side, at the end, you have the current champions of Spain. And in the middle, 3 teams fighting for relegation in Serie A. I love it.
So our next 5 matches, guys, as Jan said, guys, Liverpool this week, midweek, Juventus, Venezia, Spezia, and then Atletico Madrid back in Champions League. If we talk a little bit, this is the key one. The key one is Liverpool because it's Milan's return to Champions League. Jan, I want your unbiased opinion. How do you think this works out for Milan?
So do you want me to speak objectively or from the heart?
From the heart.
From the heart, I think we win this game. I think, how can you not, as Milan, show up at Anfield and not win that game? Objectively speaking, we're getting a fucking beating. But from the heart, I think we show up. And if these guys play if they kiss the badge, kiss the badge, and bleed Milan, and they want to sign, and they're going to show up to play this game. If there's one game you're going to win in this group, it has to be this one, just because who we are and who we've played against. And it's a beautiful story that we have with Liverpool. You know what I mean? There was some great, memorable games. Probably the greatest Champions League team to never win a Champions League lost in 2005. And then we got a revenge. But I don't think, that's for me from the heart. But looking at it objectively and with the stats, we're going to get a beating.
So you watch the podcast. Everybody listens to me. Look, I hate making predictions. I just want to see. I want to see a Milan show up to Champions League. We're back. It's been the longest time. The result, yes, is very important to me. But what's more important is la prestazione. What are they going to put out there for me? If we're going to go there and we're going to play, a defensive style or, a non-Milan game, which got us into trouble in the past, I'm not interested. I'd rather lose the game 5-0.
Thank you.
But if Milan goes there and plays like we played against Lazio, and everybody knows that I do watch a lot of EPL, and I've been watching a little bit of Liverpool.
They're a bit weak. They're a bit shaky. Yeah?
Liverpool has been having their own problems, guys. And I'm not saying Milan's going to go there and they're going to dominate play. It's going to be a physical match, I think, which Milan might have some trouble with because we don't have that much physicality. And once we get into a physical style game, we talked about it before, like Theo, like Salchicha Maker. Will they be able to handle it without getting stupid penalties, stupid cards, things that are going to get us into trouble, which they're not used to in Serie A? But the thing that worries me the most is that the stage is so big. It's Anfield, it's Liverpool, and it's back in Champions League. The jersey will weigh that much more on these guys' shoulders. There's one guy who I'm going to look to, who needs to be the leader that night. And that, not even for what he's going to do on the field, but from yesterday evening, once we demolished Lazio, till we suit up against Liverpool, it has to be Zlatan.
Of course.
Zlatan will be a key portion, a key part, not only on the field, but psychologically to everybody on that team. Everybody psychologically needs to be the man. And pezzo de pane, Andrea brought up someone else, Giroud as well.
Hero, yes.
Now, my question to you, you go. We set it up for everybody. Anfield, they're going to start singing You Never Walk Alone. I'm fed up of hearing it. They're always walking alone, these people. If they would just call someone, they wouldn't have to walk alone. It's a big stage. You're Pioli. This is unfamiliar to you. Your team, unfamiliar to them as well. You put on your coaching hat, Jan. What do you do?
Well, I mean, you have a great resource if you walk up the stairs and you go see Mr. Paolo Maldini and ask him to come and have a chat with the boys first off. And I think I would even rely on the Milan legends. Like, I don't know if you saw before the game, Sheva was in the stadium. Yeah, Fabio Capello is there, Calciocchi. All these boys need to learn is what it means to play these types of games and to understand that it's okay. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be like, oh my God, we're playing at Anfield against Liverpool. Yeah. But once the ref blows the whistle, snap out of it, and we got to go, because they have to hear it from legends that went through that. Because I don't think it was easy for Paulo when he went there. No matter how big he was in his career, to play at Anfield is still playing at Anfield, man. It's not every day an Italian team gets to play at Anfield either. It's a big privilege. So if I'm the coach, I'm relying on my boss. I'm relying on the resources that is Milan to help these boys and men understand what it is. But then, like you said, you have Giroud, you have IBRA. These are the guys that are there to lead the way, to show them how to be calm on the, because once the whistle blows and everything that you've done as a coach has been said, you're not on the field with them anymore.
No,
that's where IBRA comes through.
Look, we kind of had like a preview to this, some sort of a preview to this when we played Man U at Old Trafford. But Old Trafford, for, no disrespect to Europa League, but Old Trafford, Europa League, Old Trafford, Champions League, it's two different parks.
Yeah.
So, yes, we saw that English game, and I don't think at that time Man U was as good as Liverpool is right now. For me, I would like them to just navigate the first 15 minutes. I think navigate the first 15 to 25 minutes. Let everybody sing there, we're going to walk alone, blah, 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 throw the beers, pull fingers, do what the English people do. Make them run around a bit. And I think if they can navigate the first 20 to 25 minutes of the first half, the tables flip a bit. The tables flip a bit and a bit of the pressure goes back on Liverpool. Now, I get it, guys. It's the round robin of the Champions League. But these games are important. We're not in an easy group. We're in a tough group. So anytime you can scrape up some points away is a good thing, right? So for
we're
me,
the weakest team in the group, let's be honest. On
I would
paper,
give us Porto and us. We're kind of like, and I give it a bit to Porto just because they've been in the Champions League before.
Yes,
they knocked off Juve. I want to be honest, guys, with everybody. Maybe not talent-wise, but in terms of experience, if you stack up everything, yeah, I think Milan is the weakest group here. So whenever you can scrape up points, especially away at Anfield, and we've seen throughout the season with Liverpool, they are susceptible to drop points. So I would be happy with a draw. But again, the way we lose will be very important, especially after what we did to Lazio this weekend.
I'm going to ask you a question. Out of the young guys on the team, who do you think is going to step up big?
I want to see the starting lineup, right? I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see Theo Hernandez in the Champions League because it's a different game than Serie A, and his pace is something that against the English teams they can match up to him, right? So that weapon that he has in Serie A is not the same weapon that he has against players in the English Premier League because they're probably just as fast. So I want to see what else he has to bring. Adriano, because I screwed up his name before, I called him Andrea. Adriano brings up another guy that I'd like to see.
The dream.
Yeah, Brahim. Brahim's gonna be very interesting because in that slot there, um, he's gonna be welcome to a physicality that I don't think he's seen before.
He had a good game too against Lazio. I thought he played very well.
I thought he was good. I thought a little bit in the final third he was a little bit again. But I think everybody in the final third between himself, Rebic, and Leao was a little bit of a clusterfuck sometimes in the final third. I don't want to put all the blame on him, but Brahim against Liverpool, we forget that Brahim had some games in Manchester City before making that move to Real Madrid. So I'm curious to see him get back there and see what he can put up as a performance at Anfield away, because it's gonna be he's wearing that 10 on his back, so it's not we're gonna put in Brahim right around the 60th minute and see what he can do.
I don't know. In 3 games, he looks a lot more comfortable than the 4 years of the other guy that wore a 10. But we'll see how it goes. For me, I think, and we're all overlooking somebody who's going to really play a huge role in this game and calming everybody down, is our incredible goaltender. He's calm. I think he's going to be, if he has a loud, like he's loud. I like how he's loud. He yells. He comes out fast. He's always looking to start the play. I think he's gonna be an important factor in us having a good game, just from a calming perspective. Like he's played Champions League with Lille, right?
Yeah, Mike Manchon
he has probably more experience than most of the guys on his team.
Exactly.
So,
besides IBRA, he probably has the most experience. IBRA and Giroud, yeah, he probably has the most experience. No, you bring up a good point there. We forget about Mike because at the beginning of the season, the loss of Donnarumma, and I put my hand up, for me, guys, it was a tough loss, right? Again, I speak from the heart when I say I know it's a business. I understand what he's doing, but I think that getting someone to replace Donnarumma who's been as sure-handed with his hands and as sure-footed as Mike has been with his feet is very, very comforting for all Milanisti who have lost Donnarumma from and what he brought to Milan in terms of the games that he made us win, the top saves, and so on and so forth.
He did. Unpopular opinion, I think Mike is better suited for the style of football that Milan play. The way that we want to come out of the back, how we only have 2 center backs that are always back there because of the way that we are always attacking, almost 5 in the mid. Donnarumma, as much as he's an incredible goaltender with his feet, sometimes give me the runs, So Mike plays that role. It's like they didn't get a better goaltender. They got a better goaltender for our system. And I think that's going to help us in Champions League for a calmness up there in the back.
From Mike, we've talked about it before. I like the way where not only sure-footed, but I find he's very accurate with his long balls. He's very accurate with, you're a keeper, when you're throwing the ball, it's not back in 1982 where you're just heaving it up there. It's like precision style, almost quarterbacking type of play, right, that we're doing now. So shout out again to Monday Night Football tonight where the Ravens are playing the Las Vegas Raiders, and I need 20 points for my Fanta football. Just throwing it out there, okay? If we go back to Sonny's fabulous thing, enough about Anfield. After Anfield, we're looking at Juve, then Venezia, Spezia, and we end up at Atletico Madrid. Realistically speaking, I'd have to ask this question because Vinny asks it all the time, so everybody knows what my answer is going to be. But if I ask you, Jan, from these next 5 games, what are you expecting in terms of a point total for the Serie A games and a point total for the Champions League games? So a maximum of 6 for Champions League, and what we have, a maximum of 9 for Serie A.
So for Serie A, I see 9 out of 9. There's no reason we should lose any of those games because Juve stink. Half their team is still injured. I like it. He's not doing very well. And then you have Venezia and Spezia that if we don't beat them, well, what's the point of us even challenging for top 4? So those 9 out of 9. Realistically speaking, with Champions League, if we get 1 point out of those 2 games, I'd be very happy, along with a good presentation. But there's no reason that we can't aim for the stars and get 6 out of 6. But realistically, I'm going to go halfway 4. I think we could squeak out a surprising win against Liverpool, and then the confidence of getting 9 out of 9, we're gonna tie against Atletico.
Yeah. I would see for me, I would see a little bit of an opposite situation. I think against Liverpool, it might be too much of a big stage. I would be happy if we get a point out of there, and I think yes, for me, I want the 9 out of 9 in Serie A just because of the prestazione of yesterday. What we did against Lazio yesterday. I cannot expect anything less, right? Against Juventus. Not disrespecting Juventus while disrespecting them at the same time. They have been absolutely shit, and Allegri has no answers. So exactly. This is the time. As Juventus did for 9 Scudetto years and put their throat on Serie A to win 9 consecutive Scudetto champions, when the giant is down, you make sure he stays down. And that's Milan's job after the Champions League.
You seal that demon into a vault, and they don't rise up for at least 10 years. That's what you have to do with that shitty team. They ruined everything.
So I agree with you there. I think we can get 4. I would be happy with 1 point out of those possible 6 from the Champions League, just because of, again, the stage that they're in tomorrow with Liverpool tomorrow, Wednesday, whenever they play. I always forget. I'm just so excited. And guys, I would not be excited, guys, if we give you, you guys thought I'm going with Jan and I'm going out of control. Usually Vinny, he keeps me in check. Guys, Manscaped, thank you very much. Manscaped is once again sponsoring Milan Weekly Podcast. This is their travel attire. Guys, I brought it upstairs from my man layer. This has shaved my balls multiple times. It has also shaved my face. And before you guys get all disgusting and nasty, I have 2 different ones, one for my face, one for my balls.
But it's your balls. Who cares?
Yeah, but you can't make your ball hair touch your face hair. It's just weird.
It's the same hair. This is pubic hair, just like that's pubic hair.
I didn't like it. I want to thank them at Manscaped because it is autumn. It's going to start getting cold, but because it's getting cold, put on a pair of joggers. Don't stay in your shorts. Your balls, they need to be clean and shaved, guys. Manscaped, it's a fantastic product. We do rep it here. Thank you very much again. The code is MWP. You get free shipping and 20% off. Jan, we gave him a direct order to Manscaped. He did. You can see that nice clean shave. I don't want to see his balls. Please don't show me your balls.
It's guys, my OnlyFans will be distributed later. I'm sorry.
Ball deodorant is a special one for me. I'm a fucking fat guy. And let me tell you, when my thighs rub together, there's a bruscamento de palla over there. This thing has saved my life. Many golf games are a pleasure now because of this. So thank you. Guys. This guy's fantastic too.
My girlfriend loves him. She loves him.
Thursday. You see?
It's a great odor.
4.0, guys. This thing... Bang! We're not going to put it on the mic like Vinny. Vinny shaves the mic. I don't. I'm going to show it to you guys. 4.0. It has a travel safety lock. It's a fantastic motor. It has even these little clips. Boom. You want to shave
the floor down? When you do that, you're going to the danger like that. That's the danger.
This is the danger zone. This is for the Valley of the Damned, guys. So thank you. Yeah. Stay calm. Thank you, Manscaped. MWP. My neighbors down the street, their wives are keeping on calling me. What's the code? My husband's hairy balls are getting in the way. You give them MWP, boom.
Tell you, they love balls. The scent. Yeah, there's something in that. There's a patchouli thing. I don't know what the hell they put in there, but she's like, oh, yeah.
Remember the code, guys. MWP, 20% off, free shipping. With that, at an hour, folks. Let's go to this week's games. 7 minutes of Serie A. If we go through it quickly, Jan, myself and yourself are in a Fanta Calcio. The boys are probably going to watch. and laugh and tweet 200 and something messages the other day from these guys. They're absolute fire. They're animals. They're Fanta Calcio animals. Guys, to a great tournament. I won my first game this year. Guys, we're going to go through it. Empoli, Venezia. I'm going to tell you the truth. Was not able to catch this game. Venezia picks up their first win in Serie A. Cool story. Empoli.
Beautiful kids. Beautiful kids.
Empoli, a little bit of a disappointment after coming off a great result against Juventus. Laid a big egg against Venezia, but you see the league, the parity. The big match: Napoli, Juventus. Osimhen able to play the game. Napoli 2, Juventus 1. Jan, your take on this game?
This summer there was a really good goalie that was available for free. It's such a shame that Juventus couldn't buy him. Actually, it's amazing that they couldn't buy him. Their goaltender has been costing them points every single game. But that midfield, Locatelli's alone. He's on an island, and even for me, I don't think he's the answer. He's part of the solution, but he is not the answer. Napoli, I'm very happy for them because Juve went up, and I thought, here we go again. Napoli was pressing, and Juve is going to win. But no, Napoli ended up winning. I'm very happy. I have Koulibaly and Fantacalcio. He got me the game winner. So Forza Napoli, I'm happy for them, and I'm happy Juventus lost.
Great result for Napoli. Luciano Spalletti with the interview of the century, I think, after
he's the best,
after the game. With his space analogies and basically just saying the way it is was pretty much telling everybody. But it's the first time I beat him, and he's coming to me and he's giving me this whole poetry about Allegri coming back to me and talking to me. It's the only time I beat him. Could you make me enjoy my victory? That was fantastic and those are the characters of Serie A that you love to hate. And we'll get to another one later on. Atalanta with a disappointing performance against Fiorentina. I don't know what's happening with Atalanta. I think I've said it, and I know. And again, I have nothing against the team of Atalanta. I have everything against their coach. I think he's overthinking things. I think they are caught by the injury bug, and I think their cycle might be ending. What's your take on Atalanta Fiorentina?
Well, I'm happy for Fiorentina. It's when I was growing up, it was one of the teams that you used to fear playing against, and I hope that Commisso can bring them back to those types of levels again. I think they had a nice Mercato. It's nice to see them beat, especially a team like Atalanta. And I'm with you, Steve. I like Atalanta. I've been to Bergamo, beautiful little city. I like Atalanta as a team. I don't like Gasperini. I think his head's getting a bit too big for that small body. He's going to topple over pretty soon. Muzo wasn't there. The whole thing with the traveling to South America, they were missing some key players. So is their cycle over? Well, for me, a cycle is when you win things. So did they ever have a cycle to begin with? But I'm not one of those that's going to be praising Atalanta for finishing second or third. Yeah. But I agree with you. Maybe I'm never going to count them out. That's my whole thing. I'm happy that they're dropping points now because they seem to be one of those teams that's always showing up, being a pain in the ass, winning 12 in a row after, So
yeah.
I'm happy that they drop points for us right now, and
that's a good point, Jan. And they've done it before, where we've been having a problem. The league has been having a problem where they start off very slow. Atalanta starts off very slow, and then catches fire after and busts everybody's balls like they did with us, and we have to play a last game to get into Champions League, right? So I don't want to get into that. Hopefully we don't have that same situation. My heart cannot take these things, right? So Dominic here brings up a good point there. Atalanta was missing Muriel, Darun, Attenberg. Huge for them. Huge. Also, sure. I think Zapata is injured as well. Ilicic, my fucking Fantacalcio. I don't know why he didn't play. I don't understand. He gets subbed in. Like, that's what I'm saying. Is Gasperini overthinking things? I don't know.
No, we don't know.
I don't know. Cagliari 2, Genoa 3. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I have 2 kids. I'll be very honest with you. I love Serie A, but there's only so much soccer I can watch. I have nothing for Cagliari in Genoa. What about you?
Me neither. I like Genoa winning this game, though. Genoa, to me, is another one of those legend teams that doesn't get enough respect. They're one Scudetto away from getting a star, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's nice to see them win. I never like seeing them in a relegation battle. Them. I have a soft spot for both teams, Sampdoria and Genoa. I think they're both cool teams. So I'm happy
Genoa
that they win.
is Serie A's oldest team, so it's
Exactly.
very important to this stay in Serie A. Cagliari's bench is a rockin'. Now already I see the Tinkerman going to take someone's place at Cagliari. So Ranieri is up for that job. Too. We'll see what happens at Cagliari and that bench for, I think it's Simplicio that's the coach there. So his bench is a little bit in jeopardy. Okay. Sampdoria too. Sampdoria makes all Milanisti happy, and Inter too. 6:30 game. I know the Inter club gathered. I had Francis tell me, I got up at 6 in the morning, Steve. I got up at 6 in the morning to watch this game, to go watch them tie against Sampdoria with the Inter club. Mike Zingo was there, Orazio, a whole bunch of guys that I know that unfortunately like Inter for some strange reason. But 2-2 draw, Sampdoria-Inter.
Well, I mean, has Hakan played a game since the first one of the season? I just kept seeing people tweeting how great he was, another stinker from him.
So
Handanovic, and this is another
reply.
Yeah,
sorry, yeah. Before I forget, and I don't want to cut you off. This is very important. My reply after the first game that he played for Inter was, let's talk at January. I even gave them until January. I said, let's talk at January because he's done this before. Mm-hmm. And they're like, no, with Inter, it's a revolution. I said, okay, guys, enjoy. What do you want me to do? He left for $500,000. He was not loved nor hated at Milan, but we expected a lot more. Now you go to Inter, the pressure's on. Guys, this is what you're getting from him. He's just not consistent. This is what we didn't want at Milan. So blessing in disguise sometimes when people leave.
I think this is also a very Simone Inzaghi type of game. You have the letdown games that Simone Inzaghi has been so famously known for at Lazio.
Yes.
Look great. Oh my God, this team is amazing, and pop it up. So I don't know. To me, I'm happy to see Inter drop points. Their Scudetto was well deserved. They were the best team last year, but they're going to be remembered like Leicester if they don't start if they don't win again. I mean, it was a one-off, and I don't know, them too. They have a goaltending problem. It's been 3 years. I say Handanovic is finished. I think he's going to cause them more problems, especially in Champions League. We'll see if I'm right about that. And I'm, like I said, happy to see Sampdoria get a point. I have a Sampdoria jersey too. For me, it's the most beautiful kit after Milan's. So happy they got a point there too.
Great result for Samp there, and great for the Scudetto and the race. It's still early, guys, but still early. We're not gloating here. I'm not on the Fanta bus. I'm not going to be on it. You know what? It's going to take me a long time. Last year, I did not get on it. Me and Chicho from New York were comfortably sipping cafe, na boca de grappa. Me and Chicho, we knew what was going on. We were looking at the window. We were having a blast, watching everybody have a blast. And you know what? In the end, we really wanted to be on that bus, but we just couldn't get on because the season is so long and so many things happen.
To me, it's like when you're waiting at the airport and you have those people that as soon as they have the boarding signs, they start standing up right away as if the plane's going to leave without you. Right? And you're sitting down, you're on your wall, you're playing video or whatever, you're just waiting, and you have a nice relaxed seat until you get to your seat. So if you get too hyped up on that Scudetto train, especially before the 10-game mark, even at that, I think you're just setting yourself up for too much disaster, too much anxiety. Take it easy. Yeah. We'll see where I go. For me, every game is a game on its own right now.
Oh yeah, it's a game.
So
I don't take it at a game at a time. I take them in chunks of 5. What do we do? How much are we getting in these 5? How much are we getting in these 5? And then stop at the halfway point and just make an assessment and say, you know what could I live with? What could I live with? Now, last year at the halfway point, I was happy, really happy. So I could live with, you guys better finish in the top 4. And they finished second. For me, that was overachieving. But hey, you overachieved. You proved me wrong. You finished second. If we see on the screen, Jan, we have the second half of the games from this match day 3. Spezia Udine 0-1, Bologna 1, Joey Saputo's team, and Verona 0. Joey Sapuro, not a popular figure here in Montreal, guys. He banned.
Let's not get me started on that.
Yeah, he banned the CF Montreal Ultras from the game.
Sorry, Steve. They are not the CF Montreal Ultras. They are the Montreal Impact Ultras.
They're the Montreal. Sorry, my apologies to all the Ultras. The Montreal Impact Ultras. They have been banned for an indefinite amount of time for a slew of things that happen probably on every match day, but not able to be controlled by the Montreal by CF Montreal and dealt with properly, because it cannot be everybody who's racist, like we talked about with Lazio, and it cannot be everybody who was involved in this list of, I don't even want to get into it, list of terrible things that happen at games that unfortunately you cannot control everybody.
Terrible. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, we're going to leave it at that as terrible. But, shout out to Impact Montreal Ultras. I hope you guys get back to the stadium, because we need that atmosphere. We need your fans at CF Montreal games. Interesting match, Jan. Rome 2, Sassuolo 1. I think Sassuolo played a hell of a game.
Yep.
But a hell of a game, we know, because we went through this a lot of times. Hell of a game doesn't get you 3 points all the time. Roma with a 92nd minute winner by Stefan El Shaarawy, and Mourinho went to the track, my friend.
Yeah,
he went to the track.
You have El Shaarawy scoring and Mourinho running. Like, what is this? 15 years ago, all of a sudden, good to see. It's look. I'm not a Roma fan. Don't like them, but what Mourinho's doing over there, you have to respect. I thought he was finished, and it's only 3 games, but I thought he was done coaching. So it's nice that he seems to have a different approach in a sense, and he knows what he has. And it's nice to see them doing well for now. Just don't want to see them do well against Milan, but it's good for the game when you have a coach of that kind of stature and living up to his hype and making Roma fans their loud, making them dream. So it's nice to see.
Yeah, so congratulations to Mourinho. That's 1,000th game for Mourinho, and he got a win.
No.
I think that their attacking power, with Tammy Abraham, Zaniolo, Mkhitaryan, and Pellegrini, right? That's some firepower, man. And if he wants to play some sort of attacking football, which he's not used to playing an attacking football match, I think they're going to be dangerous. Because I think what they suffered with last year was a lack of a goaltender and a terrible defense. And I think he could shore that up. So we'll see what happens at Rome.
They had a striker that didn't want to be there for 2 years. So that kind of hurts. When your go-to guy / captain doesn't want to be there anymore. They also had some very bad ownership problems. I think almost more embarrassing than Milan's because,
No, that I have to disagree. Milan was by far the worst. I'm not going to give them that. I scrap on Roma. I hate on Roma a lot. You cannot compare. That's just regular business. Milan was a soap opera.
Yeah.
Yongo thinks that Roma is going to be back in the top 4. I think it's
I don't think so.
I think it's a bit too early to say yes.
If Atalanta keeps dipping.
Yeah, maybe. Milan, we spoke about. Torino puts up 4 spot against Salernitana. 4 goals. I think
that's score for me.
Yeah.
Is Simi gonna score for me in Fantacalcio? What's going on?
I don't know.
Is he a flash in the pan?
I don't know.
Am I dropping him for Junior Messias? What am I doing, Steve? What am I doing?
Decisions. Fantacalcio. Guys, an hour and 15 minutes. Vinny's going to kill me. He's probably listening somewhere in a place that I cannot name, you guys. Hopefully with a female companion. Hopefully having some kind of alcoholic beverage. Shout out to Vinny and his vacation time. Guys, Steve, he screwed up. I'm going to admit it straight on the air. Sent out the Patreon thing very, very late. But the Patreon does not disappoint, guys, because the Patreon, they came to play. They said, sorry, frog in my throat. We have from Fabio, glorious Monday, Steve. What a game from our beloved Milan. the rotation of players seems to have the difference feel about them this season. Could it be that we weren't overachieving last year, or with our additions and subtractions of Hakan that we are on the cusp of something great? Jan?
Well, last year it's not so much that we overachieved, but teams around us underachieved. So that's my point of view on that. And we were opportunistic and finished where we finished. I think the Patreon subscriber is 2 years too early for this type of conversation. We have to see if we can maintain some sort of continuity with this team. There's a lot of contracts that are up for renewal this year and next year. But I do think on the flip side that we're on the right path. That right now, after 3 games, it's hard for me to say Milan is not looking like one of the top teams in Serie A. But it's 3 games, and I don't want to sound like a homer, but we have to be objective, and it still depends on what happens around us. I don't think we're at the top of this league yet.
There's a lot of things that need to go right. Last year, Inter Scudetto was because they were the best team, and it was obvious.
And they got knocked out of Champions League very early.
Exactly. And you see some kind of negativity like getting knocked out of Champions League helped them in the end. But look, let's see.
It might hurt us also, Champions League. We don't know how our guys are going to react. They get a beating 5-0 on Wednesday. What happens if they lose against Juve again, and then we're in a spiral? You know, it's too early to tell, in my opinion.
The Fanta family. David chimes in with, good evening, Steve, and special guest host. We saw a very impressive Milan on Sunday, and I loved it. Question, is Romagnoli back for good? We need the depth for Champions League, and this appears to have come at just the right time. Hopefully his head is in the right place. Ciao.
He's looked like a man on a mission this year. Now, is it because he wants to go get a nice lucrative contract at Lazio after as a free agent to go play with his whatever? That could be the case. He hasn't re-signed either. But he looks a lot more composed than last year, and he looks ready to be a spare. So I think it came to him more of a shock last year, right? Tomori comes in, takes a spot. Oh, I got an injury, and I think he's understood his role now, and he knows that the importance of having 3 good center backs.
Yeah, my take on Romagnoli is always the same. I think he's good. He's a left-footed center back, which is very looked out after from everybody. That's a commodity. It's good for Milan to have for depth. It's sad that he's unsigned. I think Tomori and his speed makes up for a lot of things that he would maybe get exposed for. So I think that helps him a lot. Maybe a different pairing, he gets exposed a little bit more. I'm a Romagnoli fan. I think he deserves our respect. He is the captain, and he stayed with us from the shit to the shit times, man. He's been with us for a long time.
And he's our captain.
And he deserves better. So
I didn't like the talk of giving Kjær the armband this summer. It's like, we have a captain. Let's be respectful a bit. No?
Me too. This is the captain. He's on the team. He stays.
Exactly.
Grills 15. Hey, I'm reading out everybody's handle name just because I need to hurry because Vinny, he's already counted. He's like, how come they're under an hour and 20 minutes? Hey, Vinny and Steve. Vinny's on vacation, but it's okay. What has been the most impressive thing so far this season? Pioli keeping it up? How solid the defense has been? Leao, Diaz, and how do you want to see Milan approach the game on Wednesday? Play for a draw or go for it and try to steal points? We answered the last part.
Yeah.
What was the most impressive thing so far this season?
Now, what footage do they have of Pioli keeping it up? That's what
exactly.
I want.
Pioli keeping it up. In which industry? The footballing industry or Pornhub? But I understand what he's Pioli keeping it up, meaning continuing his form from last year.
I honestly, for me, it's Diaz. The weight of wearing the 10. The idea of these, look, the teams that these guys come from, Real Madrid, Manchester City, Chelsea, they have players all over the world. They're like the American military. They got bases everywhere with guys on loan. So people look at these guys like, oh, you got another reject from Man City and Real Madrid. He's not. He just was out of teams that didn't have space for him, and I like him. I think he's been my pleasant surprise, because for me, Pioli keeping it up, I know he bangs, man. He bangs. He's been doing it since last year. He's convinced me. So it's just mostly, for me, it's Diaz.
Next, we have Raul. Hey, Steve and Jan. Tonali versus Benacer and Ibra versus Giroud as starting 11 against Liverpool. Who would you choose? For me, it's Benacer and Giroud. Vinny is on vacation. Yes, Vinny is on vacation. Again, spot and location that I cannot divulge on this podcast. He is having a great time. He is safe. So what do you think? Tonali versus Tonali or Benacer and Ibra and Giroud? Or can we find a way to start everybody?
No. So my fast answer is no. We're not starting everyone at Anfield to look like a bunch of clowns. I would start Ibra, because historically, if you look at Giroud, he's a super sub. Even last year, I think for Chelsea, or 2 years ago for Chelsea, when they won the Champions League, he came off the bench. I think he scored 8 goals. So 6 of them off the bench. So for me, Ibra is the guy you start on the field because of what we said earlier, that he's the leader, the guy that has to step it up. And then when Ibra's given the fake Maldini Van Dijk a run for his money, then you put on Giroud, who also give them a run for his money. I would start Tonali, but ideally I would see Benacer, Tonali starting the game, and Kessie coming on there.
Yeah, for me there, Raul, I'm going to go with Jan, and I'm going to go against Jan, sorry. I would just, again, it's tough because Giroud's coming back from I don't know what kind of COVID he had there, because he was at the game. But I would start Giroud just because he's played in England before. He's played in England just as of last year. He still has the Champions League pedigree, and we have to be careful with Ibra. Now, we brought in Ibra against Lazio. Yes, again, half a game. We have to start managing his minutes. See what Giroud could give you. If you need a goal after, you try it with Zlatan. And again, the result is the result, but how we show up as a team is different. I would want to start Giroud for at least 65 minutes and see what Ibra can bring coming in off the bench. I would give Tonali the start as well, just because it's all about confidence right now, right? Mm-hmm. And there's nothing against Benacer. I understand Benacer coming back from international duty, did not train very much with the national team, but coming back, now you got to ride your hot hand. Let's see Tonali put up another great performance, and then you have a very good problem on your hand. What do you do? But I think giving the start to Benacer might be a knock to a bit of his confidence, especially for Champions League, but because of what he's done so far, right? I'm not saying Benacer doesn't deserve a start too. I don't know. I think Kessie starts alongside Tonali again. I would think that.
At the end of the day, we have 5 games in 2 weeks. So everyone's going to get a chance to play. We can't look at it like that. And the whole 2-striker thing, I mean, if we need a goal, I can see him maybe trying it out at the end of the game. Maybe. Going to a 4-3-1-2 or something like that. But we don't change. Non si cambia formazione before a big game.
No, exactly. No changing formation. So that's my take on that. Giovanni, Gio, my man. Of course, he gave you the props for your jerseys in the back. He's a jersey fanatic. Can't wait to watch TVP. Thank you. I love you. I need his energy, especially on Mondays. Trust me, today I needed energy too. No question. All I have to say is Calabria has upped his game, and he has become a beast. Yes, I know that Gio is a humongous Calabria fan. I think he has upped his game. And since last year, right, we all were looking for a right back. We decided, and we did not get a right back, and Calabria had the season of his life. So great for that. That's it for me, guys. I want to say thank you to Jan. I know we've kept you on a little bit longer than usual, but hey, guys, this is what happens when Vinny's not here. He can't control me. And Jan and I could talk for another hour for sure. I want to again thank everybody who chimed in on the chat. Guys, it's very hard going back and forth. I apologize if I didn't see your chat. Thank you for everybody who chimed in on Twitter and Patreon. Guys, again, please listen, subscribe, retweet, tell a friend. This is Forza Milan content in English for your listening ears, your watching pleasure. Jan, if you want to tell everybody how they can follow you, by all means, this is your time to shine. This is your 1 minute of fame.
I just wanted to say thanks to everyone with the nice comments in the comment section here. Thank you. You can follow me on Twitter, Yanimal1981. You can find my band's music, Senza Fine, on Spotify, Apple Music, all those various places, even YouTube. We used to have the music before Milan Weekly Pod, but they pulled it off for copyright, and I haven't been able to allow it again. It's terrible. So thank you so much for having me again.
This is the man. This is the man right here who made the music. He
with
said
the drums
yes to us so that we could use the music. So he's right here. He said yes.
But Sonny made some nice intro music. I think Sonny made that. It's very good. So very cool. So happy that is. But that's it. Yanimal 1981, and it was a real pleasure. Thank you for having me. I just the only downer part is tomorrow I am not going to be able to listen to Milan Weekly podcast because I can't listen to my own voice. I have me five out of
but you know what you have to do though? Just like play it in the background so we get the view.
Double speed so we sound like triplets.
Exactly, yeah. And then we get the view and it's good for monetization and so on. Guys, thank you again everybody for going for tuning in. I appreciate the support. I love interacting with everybody on Twitter and in the comments. Also, please smash the like button on the video. Put on those little chimes. Come and join us. It's not usually an hour and a half. Vinny cuts me very, very short. We love doing this. Share with your friends. Bring everybody. Even if you're not Milan fans, come and join the conversation. It's for everybody. It's in English. It's great English content for not only Milan, but Serie A. Ovunque and sempre.
Forza Milan.
Forza Milan! Forza!